Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Craw Park. Let's jump right on in. So, today I want to discuss the economic calendar and how it affects the stock market. So, the economic calendar is a collection of reports that are released monthly that let us know the health and status of our economy and our country. So, these reports you can find anywhere online, they're all free. Today, we're going to use MarketWatch. So, let's see what happened today. So at 8:30 a.m. this morning, the unemployment rate report was released. Now this report is very vital to the stock market because it lets us know the amount of Americans that are not working here in our country. So the way this relates to the stock market is that this relates to the GDP. Okay, so I'm gonna try to do a crosswalk between this report and the stock market. So the employment rate report lets us know how many Americans are working. The amount of Americans that are working directly affects our GDP, gross domestic product. Our gross domestic product is the monetary value of all of the services rendered in America and all of the items manufactured in America. So, if more people are working, then companies are making more stuff, and that stuff is valuable, which makes their company more valuable, which affects the S&P 500, which is on the stock market. Okay, so the S&P 500 is a collection of the greatest and best and biggest 500 companies here in America that are publicly traded. So the S&P 500 is essentially the bellwether of the stock market. You can tell a lot by what's going on with the S&P 500, and you can directly correlate that to how is the market doing in general. All right, so let's look and see what happened with the SPY today. Remember, this report was released at 8:30 a.m. this morning. So without even looking at the report, no need to read the headlines, no need to even read the report. You can see that, and I'll zoom in, at 8:30 on the dot, the SPY rose like crazy. So even without reading the report, I know that unemployment decreased. I know that because the S&P 500 shot up. And for the entire day, it increased. So here's a strategy for you, right? And I know many traders use this because these economic reports are released far in advance. You can know, okay, I'm going to wait until this report comes out and I can trade the report. Because if you were looking at the report and you were thinking, at 8:30 a.m. I'm going to be at my computer waiting for the report to release, and whatever happens, that's how I'm going to trade, right? So thankfully, the report showed us that unemployment was decreased, and the market went up as a result of that. So just to go back to the report, you can find the report if you want to read it online. The Bureau of Labor releases a report, and it gives very detailed information about what happened to unemployment the previous month. It breaks it down by population, by gender, maybe even race. But lots of good data there if you really want to get into the weeds. But as far as trading, you don't have to even do all of that. Honestly, you don't even have to read the report. You just have to know when the report's coming out and then just be ready to trade it. So that's the SPY. And that's wonderful for the economy. I'm really glad that happened. So I want to talk about AMD for a second, and I'm going to go ahead and wrap up and start my weekend. All right, so let's go to AMD and see what happened. This is why I talked about yesterday, why having a great news outlet, a reliable and quick one, is so vital to good trading if you trade those catalysts. So let's look at today. And you see, Why was there a large spike today, let's say around noon? Let's go find out. So I'm back on FinViz. I'll type in AMD. And you said, okay, what would cause a giant spike? Well, here we go. So AMD powers AWS, which is Amazon Web Services, with processors. Okay? So, long story short, it looks like Amazon has requested AMD to use their processors to process their AWS, which is a very, very vital part of Amazon's success. So Amazon is paying for those processors and AMD is going to supply them. Great. So that's great for AMD. And what happens? Stock price moves up like crazy. Now, if you were alerted of this, that would be a great opportunity to get in. Today was a little bit choppy, but this report, coupled with the jobless report, I mean, a wonderful collection of reports to spike this increase. Now, for the rest of the day, a little bit of chop, but I mean, trading that, I mean, let's see what happened. So we got, let's say, an increase of from 52.31. So this is basically over $2, $2.50. I mean, yeah, that's really big because, as you know, Amazon is very, very, very important to our economy and also to the S&P 500. And so the fact that AMD could land a deal with Amazon, great news for AMD. So great opportunity there. That's actually going to do it for me today. I'm going to wrap it up, start my weekend. I hope you guys enjoy your weekend. Talk to you next week.